I'm going to please kindly ask for no more outbursts. You will be asked to leave if you do it again. Sorry, City Attorney, I was distracted. Can you please repeat that?
This is the resolution approving the City of Margate Property Improvement Program, providing for maximum reimbursement grant amount, providing for eligible and ineligible properties improvements and funding, program administration and funding in an amount not to exceed $1.5 million. Before your consideration this evening.
What is the wish of the commission?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner, is her hand? I can't see. Go ahead. Yep, Commissioner Schwartz, go ahead.
I've had to cut the video because I don't have much battery left. I think people are questioning how this is to be applied. So perhaps, because I've been telling people, perhaps the city manager would just explain the crux of the program, how people are reimbursed and things like that. Because I'm getting text messages asking me, how do I do this? How do I apply? How does the city pay me and stuff like that? So perhaps we could explain a little.
Sure. Thank you, Commissioner Schwartz. And yes, so this is a property improvement grant program that we have intentions of rolling out with the commission's support, of course. There'll be an application process that you'll be able to pick up online or at City Hall offices here. And it'll be a reimbursement program, 50% reimbursement program. As it's written right now, it'll be $50,000 for commercial properties and $25,000 for single family home properties. Eligible improvements would include impact windows, roofs, fences, driveways, really curb appeal type of improvements and hardening items. The application process as it's written right now would basically provide, what the intent of the job is, provide quotes to show what the work is being done and that it's justifiable. As long as the work is completed with before and after type of pictures and inspections, it completes the building department's inspection process. The city would then reimburse the property owner for that 50% amount.
Okay. Commissioner, are you done, Commissioner Schwartz?
Yeah, I just wanted an explanation and that people should understand it's up to, not necessarily guaranteed the entire amount, but up to. And that I would hope that maybe we should add that if you get one of these grants, you don't also get the other grants of those the Broward County is administering for us, because this money needs to be spread around.
Kale, do you know how many, if it was to get maxed out at each unit, at each home, about how many households we could help?
I think at the amount that we're recommending at 1.5, if all single family homes use 25,000, I think it's 60 homes.
Okay.
All right, so then let me ask though, will then this preclude people from also applying for the other grant money that Broward County administers for us for home improvement and things like that?
As of right now, no. The guidelines do not include any disqualifying factors such as other grant programs that they may have applied for.
Well, I'd like to
trying
amend it.
to keep the administrative effort behind this down and the government tape down so that we can get the funding out into the community and not try to find ways to disqualify people. But if that's the wish of the board with the use of these funds, then we can certainly make those changes to the guidelines.
I'd like to see that $25,000 reduced a little bit so that we can spread it out amongst more homes or houses.
What number would you like?
Maybe 10 or 15,000. I just think 25,000 is a little too much. And I also don't think that it should be for one item. So if you want hurricane shutters or impact windows, that's your item. None of this, well, I'm getting an AC, well, this is for hardening. So, impact windows and then this or a roof and we're redoing the whole home. No, the point is to help you harden a key part of your home that maybe you don't have the funds to do all by yourself.
I agree with you there.
And spread it out to more residents so that more people can benefit from it.
And Cal, this is a 50% matching up to a certain amount, and then they have to pay for it up front. It has to get, they have to get all the right permits, it has to pass inspection, and then they present the bills.
Yes,
Okay.
from our side.
Can I suggest something then?
Go for
Let's
it.
do 10,000. This way, if they do find a way to loophole the system, at least they're not getting $80,000. Let's make this
Excuse
program.
me.
Go ahead.
Sold. I'd go for that.
We determined how much the county could give, and we're doing it because people duplicated and hit every grant at the same time. So if we decided how much the grant is being given by the county, and we decided for windows and air conditioning and handicap kinds of things, I would assume we could decide how much was in that. But we certainly can decide if you've gotten a grant within 5 years or you're going to apply for one now, you cannot apply for both. And I don't think it's a lot of red tape to have a running list of people
I mean,
who
that's
got.
true. If they apply for that grant, then they could maybe pay back the money. I don't know how we would enforce
We
it.
just don't want to bundle grants because
I
that's why
agree.
the county is doing what it's doing now, because we got stuck giving people hundreds of thousands of dollars to redo their kitchens.
So I understand, and if that's the, wish of the commission, which I think it is here.
Yeah.
There will be ways that I'm sure somebody will get creative and find a loophole in, but I will try to put some controls in place that limit that possibility. And at the very least, we can look at it for the last 5 years. If they've received county funding for a property improvement grant, then they're not qualified for our grant funding.
And
Okay.
how hard can it be to have a list of people's names? And if there's an ad that we find out that someone has gotten and through any error, then we take the money back, ask the money to be repaid. How hard can that be?
Commissioner Rosano, you've been patiently waiting.
So as this list started coming about, well, the first item on here I have a problem with is the $25,000 with which I agree with you guys. I think $25,000 is way too much and it should be reduced to $10,000. So that'd be my first. So the $10,000 I think is great. And then, but you look at the list, eligible improvements, you can basically build a whole house for all these improvements. You talk about structural, you talk about paint, you talk about concrete, you talk about electrical, plumbing. I think the list is way too vague. I think we should first start it out with zooming in on some things that we've talked about, like the driveways, the roofs, the fences, exterior curb appeal. ACs are in there. I don't know if we should be paying for people's air conditioners. I don't agree with that. But I also want this to be done as improvements as well. So if somebody's going to put up a fence, I don't mind paying for the fence, but at least put up a as good or better fence. In other words, what's that? Exactly. So it looks good throughout the city. So I would like to see that, some sort of a written in where you've got to have some consistency with the neighbor or something like that. Impact windows, I have no problem with that. The next page, it goes to ineligible improvements. I think that should just be reverted back to eligible improvements. I mean, if somebody wants to put in regular windows, it shouldn't even be considered. Ineligible properties, I have no problem with that. So in other words, if your house is up for sale, don't try to get this loan, don't try to get this because the city's not going to give it to you.
And I agree with you on the ACs. I mean, to me, the city has to get value out of this too. And that's through improving the property values. The AC doesn't, technically it does, but it doesn't. It's the curb appeal, the roofs, the windows, the driveways, the paint, minor landscaping. I agree. I don't want to be paying for someone's AC.
I doubt there's a pretty enough AC out there that it's going to make the house value go up by how cute it is. So we should be sticking with things that are going to increase the value of the house and appearance. That's what
From the street.
That's what the intent was.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Okay, the ineligible for funding, I have no problem with that. The last thing is the application. I know it was mentioned in order to qualify for this, to go out and get estimates first and then do the process and then you'll get paid at the end. I honestly think that it should be done where it's looked at where the project is completed. You get your final, you revert back to the building department, you say, was the job completed? If they give you a yes, each application, when you do a job on the permit, it will have the cost of the job. So you can look back at that, use that number and say, you know what, this roof costs $10,000 or this roof costs $20,000. You're eligible for $10,000. or 50% or up to 10,000. So I think that process needs to be put in here as well. I don't think doing the 3 estimates is going to do us any good, because if somebody has 3 estimates, who's to say that they can't go with the highest one and do what they want with it? So I think there's got to be some checks and balances, and I think that's the best way, because the permit shows it's finalized, and it also shows the price of the job, the value of the job. I think it should only be one job. I don't think you should be able to do a roof, driveway, paint your house and do all that. It should just be one. It should be simple. I understand what Commissioner Schwartz is saying about duplicate grants or stuff like that. So have a question on there. Have you ever received a city grant in the last 5 years, or a county grant? And just take it from there.
Go ahead, Commissioner Simone.
Thank you. I agree with most of what you are agreeing with. The only thing that I would really like to see is, I don't really want to take out the air conditioners, because here in Florida, air conditioners are essential. You almost can't live without an air conditioner. And if somebody can't afford an air conditioner, and this is going to help them to purchase one, why deny them that? Because you can hardly live without one. So I would like to see the air conditioners left in here. I just think it's very important for their health. And it will increase the value of the home, you know, if they want to sell the home in the next year or 2 years for whatever reason, or they pass away, you know, and they've got a brand new air conditioner, it's going to help with the resale of the house.
While we're talking about ACs though, as it's currently written, it is upgrading your home to central air.
Right.
It's currently, it's not replacing, you know, your AC unit that's out there. It's if you don't have central air, you just got window units in there.
Gotcha.
That's how this, but if we want to amend that to where we are replacing existing central air units, that's direction I need to make an amendment in here as well. But right now, it's currently not that way. It's a significant job to convert it to central air. It's not just a simple replacement. So it would really be an upgrade to that home, not only for just the health and safety, but, you know, value going into that house as well.
Yeah. All right, then I would leave it then. Because it is important to convert to central air if you have window units.
And it will help the appearance of the home too, without having all those individual window units.
Commissioner Schwartz.
But do we also consider that if someone were to sell their house within a year, then they pay us back out of the sale price, and because that money then doesn't go to do what the intent was for that particular homeowner, or do you not bother with that at all?
Good question. I know we do that with other grants, Kale. How is this one set up?
I do not have it set up that way. I think that if my thought and intention on this is, if somebody that's been living in their home for a while, it needs to be updated. They update it, they sell it.
Significant
that
tax
value will come
assessment.
back to the city in the form of
Higher taxes.
higher taxes.
Okay, thank you.
Meeting. Can we approve it tonight at first reading and then just make the changes for second?
Just one reading.
It's a resolution, there's just one reading.
Oh, I'm looking over here at ordinances. Sorry.
Joanna, you know, you did change my mind on the AC, and Kale, the way you had it written was for a whole AC, for removing the window units, which I think is outstanding.
Yeah.
But going back to the ACs, I don't have a problem if we put just a one number fee on it, that if you want to swap out your air conditioner, you get X amount of money and that's it, or something like that. This way, there's no percentage or nothing like that, because I can understand that an AC is a necessity here in Florida, and it's health and safety factor, I think. So I probably wouldn't have a problem with the ACs if we were to work something out.
As far as Commissioner Rosano's suggestion on doing just kind of a separate flat amount for reimbursing on an ACs, is there any suggestion for that? $500, $1,000?
On just a AC
Just
swap out?
replacing the AC swap out, right?
I mean, I'd say if the average, well, we're doing 50% matches, so let's
Yeah.
say the average AC is $5,000 to $2,500 or so.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Swap out.
Joanne, you got us thinking about the ACs.
Commissioner Rosano, your light's still flashing? Okay. Can I get a motion to table this item to the next meeting?
I'll make a motion to table this item to the next.
I'll second it.
meeting.
Great, I appreciate all the feedback here.
Let's vote. Nope.
Okay, please call the roll.
Commissioner Simone,
Yes.
Commissioner Schwartz,
Yes,
Commissioner Rosano,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Caggiano,
Yes.
Mayor Serio.
Yes.
Guys are watching, right?